Hello, today I'm sharing with you some tips to make equal ears on your projects. So as you can see, I've got a little sleeping fox here with his 2 ears, and I've made a couple of samples here. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways to make matching ears. Okay. So first of all, my biggest tip would be to always try and take 2 equal amounts of wool for whatever you're making. Okay, so if I'm going to be making 2 matching ears, I would try and take 2 matching bits of wool. That would be my biggest tip. Okay, so if I've got 2 matching bits of wool, in theory I will end up with 2 equal ears. Okay, that's my biggest tip. All right, another really good tip that I have is cookie cutters. Okay, this is a fabulous triangle one from Mum's Makery. You can have a look through your collection, see what you've got, but I think this is a brilliant one to do lots of different ear shapes, okay, especially the foxes. So we've got this ear shape at the top here. If you wanted a slightly bigger one, we've got this one here. Obviously this one matches as well. So as if you were working with your cookie cutter as you would for any of your other shapes or anything like that, you take your wool and your needle and you just do your normal routine for filling your cookie cutter. So I like to take small bits and felt them into the cookie cutter. Okay, but you're going to stop, instead of filling the whole cookie cutter, you're going to stop where you want your ear to go. Okay, so if, say, we wanted him to stop about here, we're just going to stop about here. Okay, so fill it up, felt it in. This is where something like your clover tool would come in very handy. So I've got 2 needles in here. It'd be slightly quicker that way. Okay, take it out, turn it over, keep going until you're happy with the thickness of your ear and the firmness of your ear. But if you've done 2 in the same cookie cutter, in theory you should have 2 that are exactly the same shape. My next tip for getting 2 ears exactly the same shape would be to simply cut the shape out on a piece of paper or a piece of card. Use a bit of your old recycling, okay? And then you will be able to use that as a kind of template. So spread out your wool, pop it on the top, get your needle and use it as a template for your ears. And in theory, if you're using the same template for both ears, the same amount of wool for both ears, you will hopefully end up with 2 matching ears. I'm using a single needle at the moment, but I would suggest using maybe 2 needles. Have your clover tool. I do often use those. And then when I've finished my ears, I like to use my larger clover tool to flatten everything out, blend everything together. Okay, but in theory, if you're using the same template, you should end up with the same sized ears. Okay, take that one off. Another tip, or another way to make matching ears, would be to use felt. So using something, a wool felt, I would suggest. You can get 30% wool felt or higher in whatever colour you want. Okay, obviously I was using the fox ears for this example. So I would have grabbed one of these colours, knowing that some of this will come through to the other side, to come through into your flat ear. Okay, so I know that these colours would blend into my ear. Okay, so easy to use wool felt as part of your ears. All you have to do is cut out the shape you want it to be. So we'll go for another triangular shape, as that's what we're working with the fox. And obviously you can do two the same shapes. Okay, and then once you've cut out two of the same shapes, you'll have two pieces of wool that you've taken off together. Always taking the same amount of wool will help getting your ears to match. Okay, and then, so I'm just taking one of those, I'm spreading out my wool, pop this in the middle, and then I like to just attach the felt sheet to my wool slightly before I start, so it doesn't like to move. Okay, and then you can start doing as you did with the template, just start going round the edges and fold in. Okay, so you're just following the shape of your piece of felt there. Okay, so I'm going to do that again down this side and then folding in. Lots of fluff at the top. You can of course take some of that fluff off, or you can just fold it back down and start to felt in from the sides to get back to the felt shape in the middle. Okay, my best advice for that, using felt sheets, would be don't use too much wool at a time, because obviously you lose your felt sheet in the middle. I can still fill mine down here. I can start going in at the sides to re-find that sheet felt, and obviously if I've got two pieces exactly the same, in theory I will get two ears that are exactly the same. Okay, so that's another method. And the last method, which is the one that I usually use, is more of a freehand method. Okay, this is the one that I like to use. So I've taken, imagine I've taken two, remember we're always taking two bits of wool, okay, and you can just freehand it. Okay, so I'm going to do my triangle for my ear, because I'm doing my fox ear at the moment, so folding over, I'm just freehanding this one, look, and then I will match the second one to this one. Okay, so I would make the first ear. I'm using my clover tool with just two 38 gauge needles in it at the moment. Okay, so there's my first one. And you've taken a second amount of wool that was exactly the same as the first. You took them at the same time, okay? I'm peeling this off. If this was nice and firm and ready to go, I knew the finished size, I could then use that as my template. And just go round as I did before, folding in, ooh, take him off, folding in as I need to, and hopefully if you've used the top one as your template, the second one should be the same shape. Okay, so these are the ones I made earlier, just using the method that I just showed you. If I found that one of them was slightly bigger than the other, okay, maybe I took a little bit of extra wool, then I'd just put them together, felt down the edges and make sure that they matched. I'm quite happy with those, that they match. Obviously it doesn't have to be fox ears, it could be any of your animals that you're making. Just try and use one of those methods. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.